Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty crazy stuff where it seems like Sony is now laying down the law when it comes to their PlayStations, and it seems like a lot of folks are now able to go get, basically a lot of their orders being canceled, refunded, and this is also between a really big business partner. As well, we also have some pretty big news when it comes to Bluepoint, which is probably going to be coming up with one of the best games out here in the near future, and will be coming in the near future. As well, we also have some of the little various gaming news. We're going to talk about this all throughout this video. Hope everyone's having a fantastic lovely weekend so far too as well, and make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We do have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys want to follow and hang out over there. We have the Target, Amazon, and Howell links too, and let's go down in this video because I'm a little bit excited to get to go talk about all of this drama and good news. So very first and foremost, in case you guys have missed it, there's a really big Ubisoft game that should have been coming very soon. But if you guys have probably seen the news on the channel or in general, Ubisoft has been under some pretty heavy fire. They at some point had like 12 different BR games. You heard me correctly, BR genre games of the same company that actually end up getting canceled and delayed. They had a lot of these other really big high-end games also go get canceled and or delayed. And one of their biggest games out here, Skull and Bones, was also at this point, pretty much indefinitely delayed. Now, we still think it's gonna be coming soon, the next, probably year or so, but right now it looks like PlayStation is actually laying down the law. And this is kind of big because PlayStation's usually been very hardcore sticklers when it comes to refunds, when it comes to getting money back, but in all honesty, if you ever try to hit up support and other things, unless you had your credit card literally stolen by law, they just don't really like to give out refunds. They don't like to give out money back. And that's just kind of one of the big things I think Sony's kind of somewhat known for. Microsoft's been pretty good on that one. We've been harping on Microsoft a lot recently on the channel, but Microsoft and Xbox has been good. PlayStation, though, not so much. And that's why this issue is even bigger, because the Skull and Bones game, which is the upcoming Ubisoft kind of pirate ship type combats, Sea of Thieves type style game, but a little bit more, I guess better graphically, a little bit more, mature, are basically having all their pre-orders as of right now refunded, which is also no longer on sale in the PlayStation Store. So if you guys have missed it, basically, when it comes to games like this, Cyberpunk is probably one of the only other big examples I can think of where they were literally offering refunds and giving money back for their games. And that was basically due to the fact that the PlayStation 4 version and Xbox One versions were essentially unplayable, and obviously the PlayStation 5 version was a little bit better, but there were still so many game-breaking bugs and issues to the point where it was getting so many attempts on refunds that Sony just ended up pulling the plug. And now this is why I see kind of a big deal, because like I said, there's probably maybe there's been a few, or maybe a few pre-orders have been adjusted throughout the years, sure, but nothing as big as an Ubisoft business partner like this, who has their game literally automatically refunded, and as well also all this stuff. So it basically means that PlayStation right now is not playing around. They are not happy with this, and they are basically giving up free money because they don't know when this Skull and Bones game is even going to be coming out. So let's talk about this. So basically, Skull and Bones pre-orders refunded, no longer even for sale on the PlayStation Store. Skull and Bones pre-orders are now being automatically refunded by the PlayStation Store. In particular, those who have pre-ordered the $100 Deluxe Edition for Ubisoft's upcoming pirate game report that they have received now a full refund from PlayStation as of today. And like I said, this almost never happens. This is like the equivalent of a Cyberpunk, where just people are upset, or it's being mass refunded, or whatever it might be. This is basically Sony saying we don't even want to hold on to your $100 because we just don't know what's going on with the game. This is also going to be due to the fact at the time of this writing, Skull and Bones is also no longer available for sale. So it's literally removed off the sale, the actual store. You can't do the pre-orders and everything else. Likely because of the release date being pushed to a vague release window. So basically before this game was supposed to come out, I think around March or April, give or take. There's a few betas, so it may have adjusted a little bit from there. But it kind of goes to note that, well, yeah, this is just bad. It's just rough. So basically, no email on the refund was reportedly sent out to users too. So as noted by a user on the Skull and Bones Reddit, as well as another user on Twitter, Skull and Bones pre-orders have been officially refunded on PlayStation platforms. Sony is laying down the law, and they don't want to have another, a company basically holding on to someone else's money, essentially the $100, which is kind of a lot if you think about it in the gaming sense, and they just don't want to deal with this drama or all these issues or everything in between. So they they actually just full on removed it. They just said, we're not dealing with this, don't want to give us an exact release date, work with us. And it kind of makes sense because Ubisoft has been being run through the mill these past few weeks with like basically protests being planned, layoffs being basically announced, all their games being canceled. And it just kind of seems like this is another big blow because this game has been out for a while. It's also been rumored for a while. And I've been wanting to play this game for a while too. I kind of like this whole pirate type of vibe. So basically with this, Ubisoft support responded on the Twitter thread by asking for additional information, though the user says that an email or a warning should have been sent first before a refund was authorized. The Reddit users also corroborated with this one too as well, that an email was never actually sent and PlayStation was just doing this. So as of right now, checking the PlayStation Store, Skull and Bones cannot be purchased or pre-ordered at this time. Information on the deluxe edition of the game also isn't available through the storefront. The only options available on the game's pages are to wishlist and follow the game, and they basically, like I said, fully removed it, got rid of it, and this is a rarity for PlayStation. Like, if anything, they usually keep it up. Same with Steam, they'll just be up for a while. So these auto refunds are likely due to the Skull and Bones now being delayed from its March 9th release date, which was one of many, many delays to an unclear date of early 2023 to 24, according to Axios 2 as well, and now the release window for the game on the PS Store just reads 2023. But you know you must have messed up bad or like made someone at PlayStation upset, because it seems like even the Ubisoft employees don't even know what's going on, why this happened, why these refunds are going out, and it seems like it might actually have just been PlayStation's executive decision to make this final call. So this is a rarity, this almost never happens, and well, kind of crazy to see. But at least on some better news over here, Bluepoint Games, which you guys know I do believe was bought out by PlayStation, is now apparently working on its next hard game, which will hopefully not be removed for the PlayStation Store, with the reveal coming when the time is right. So with this, Bluepoint Games, author of their remake of Demon's Souls, if you guys remember that game was pretty well made, is currently working on a new game. Not yet known, the announcement will come later. PlayStation Studios has already unveiled the various games in development in its teams, but many are still unknown, such as that of Bluepoint Games. And that kind of is true. We do know a lot of these PlayStation development teams are ongoing. We just don't necessarily know fully what's like the, like what's coming next. Like some games are being low key. They may not have like specific release dates, or maybe it's not as done yet. So we're kind of watching for it. The team, which has recently remade Demon's Souls, is also hiring new staff as it continues to work hard on its upcoming project. So it is in development. We have new PlayStation games on the way, and we do think Bluepoint did a pretty good job on Demon's Souls. Pretty good, well reception. So however, it's not yet time for the announcement. Peter Dalton, head of technology at Bluepoint Games, commented on the recent layoffs at Microsoft, but not only, and wrote via Twitter as well, as he kind of touched on this too. Sad to hear about the layoffs in tech today. Here at Bluepoint Games, we are hard at work on our next project. We have several openings too as well. So we kind of covered this in a prior past message, but it's kind of a little bit more intriguing news to see that it is in like motion. It is being worked on, and we'll probably have a really good game some in the near future. As well, also more on the announcement time, which is like the more newer information. They did go and say that when the time is right, they're going to let us know. So maybe an upcoming PlayStation event. We have been hearing some rumors in the past 3 or 4 months, but at the same time, maybe it'll be a little bit later on, or maybe like a 2024 release. They've been made some remakes such as Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus, so you won't, and they actually might maybe just become like Sony's remake division, so you can kind of see where they go from there. But yeah, very nifty to go and see on some of this type of stuff. Some folks might be assuming it might be something like maybe like a God of War Ragnarok type re-release or something like that of the sorts. We're not super sure, but it is intriguing to see. Now as well, we did have some pretty sad news too when it comes to Mark Hamill, where he hints that his time as the Joker's over. I've been seeing this going viral up on Twitter, where sadly over this, it looks like Mark Hamill just does not want to go and deal with this type of stuff because he was doing the Clown Prince, good old Joker. Mainly because, as you guys know, sadly, the original voice of Batman, who's been involved in many of these different various games too, yeah, he ended up passing away. Very sad. I think his last game is coming up very, very soon. And he said if Hamill would only ever want to return to play Joker if Conroy was back as Batman. They would call and say they wanted to do Joker. And my only question was, is Kevin Batman? If they said yes, I would say I'm in. We were like partners. We were like Laurel and Hardy. Without Kevin there doesn't seem to be Batman for me, which is just a heartbreaking thing to go and hear, but I respect his commitment towards his friend over there. So very sad to see, still very sad news to see with everything all involved. And last but not least, funny enough, we actually have the Dead Space remake too, which I'm excited to go play up on Twitch very soon, is that they actually want to, if you want to actually go and platinum up the game, you actually do apparently have to do 2 playthroughs for the platinum, which is kind of nifty to go and see. We also did go and see the Callisto Protocol also go add a similar thing. We also just finally added New Game Plus. So I'm getting hyped up for this Dead Space remake. I want to know if you guys are excited yourselves. I hope this game is going to be fantastic. But let me know your thoughts and comments on the removals. Make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have the Howell, Target, and Amazon links too as well. And if you guys want to, leave a like on the video and your thoughts down below.